Beth in Miami. She had her daughter call her last week, very upset, because her daughter's boyfriend found some private pictures on the internet that she had sent him. And he thought that she put them online.
Okay, wait, so the boyfriend found them?
Correct. So he was mad. Like, I thought these were just for me. Now I see that they're on the internet.
Oh.
And she's like, I didn't put them up there. So they did a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, and someone must have opened his phone and take a picture of the picture.
Okay.
To steal them. So instead of text messaging or email, just snapped a photo of a photo.
Okay.
Then this person put them online.
Oh.
What's even worse is he put where she lives, her name.
No.
Yes. All of her information.
Oh my gosh, the poor young woman.
And her full face. And so Beth has two questions. A, how do we get him off the internet? And B, how can we prove and catch the person that did this?
Gosh, that's horrible, Beth. That's terrible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've got a couple of pictures of your daughter. She's naked, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm, yes.
And with her name and her address. Boy, that's very, very frightening.
Yes. Well, it's not actually her address. It's I guess some sort of local website, but her name is on there.
Which, once you have somebody's name, you can figure out, it's really easy to figure out through connecting all the dots with what's available online and social media, right? You can figure out where somebody works, things like that. So does she have any idea who may have done this?
Well, they have a pretty good idea that it's the boyfriend's roommate.
Okay, and then he probably the boyfriend didn't have his phone locked, or maybe the roommate probably saw him unlock it so many times he knew what the passcode was, right?
Right.
As far as actually proving it was him, you'd have to get the authorities involved, and I assume she's over the age of 18, right?
Oh, yeah, she's 22.
All right.
And they did go to the police, but it didn't help much.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to go to the authorities. I would probably get a lawyer involved, too, who was involved with internet crimes.
Okay.
And because if you could subpoena that site, you may be able to get the IP number of whoever posted that picture.
Okay.
Because, do you know what IP number is?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, so it's basically, here's the deal, is that anything that's connected to the internet has a unique identifier. It's called an IP number, internet protocol to be exact. But if he's just on his phone, he's using a cell connection, he's using the house's Wi-Fi, that IP number can be traced back to him.
Okay.
But it's not like you can just go to that website and say, listen, I need to know the IP number. You actually need to have somebody who's familiar with this process and can subpoena those records and then see if they can get them back. And then from that IP number, that's where you go to the ISP and say, I need to know who resides at this house. Okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing, and really probably more importantly right now, is to get those pictures off, right?
Right.
Okay, because, and that's the problem. Once they show up on one site, it becomes like this domino effect.
Right.
As they start appearing on other sites, on other sites, on other sites. What you can do is do what's called a who is search. This is so sad. What a nightmare for your daughter. Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she needs to teach her boyfriend how to keep things private or not send anything in the beginning, right? But, okay, so now to get the pictures off, sorry, I was on a tangent right there, but you do what's called a who is search.
Who is?
Yes, who is. You just type in a web address, and then it tells you who owns that website. And then you write them an email and say, what I'd like to do is to, I'd like you to remove these photos. What is the process to make this happen? They maybe if it's your daughter, and that's where sometimes it helps to get a lawyer involved. Does it violate any of your daughter's copyrights or something like that? And if you can't find out who owns the site, then you go to whoever's hosting the site and ask them to take the photos down. But again, at this point, there's a lot of intricacies here, and that's where, you know, it might be worth spending, you know, $500, $250 an hour, whatever it may be, to find somebody who can navigate these waters for you. Because many times when a website gets a letter, and it's a certified letter from a law firm at the top, it gets a lot more attention than an email from you saying, "This is my daughter, will you take the pictures down?"
Right.
And, you know, and unfortunately, once they're there, it's just going to keep repeating itself and repeating itself and repeating itself. But, you know, again, I'm really sorry that she has to go through this, and I'm sure she's learned a very valuable lesson. And, you know, so often those of us you remember what it's like when you're a teenager in your early 20s, like nothing bad could ever happen. Well, this is just an example of bad things do happen. And why it's just a terrible idea to send a naked picture of yourself to anybody, including your boyfriend. You know, a lot of marriages now include prenuptial social sharing agreements just so that this stuff doesn't happen.